News 5 forecast first from the First Alert Storm Team. Sponsored by Hembry Heating and Air Conditioning.
Sunshine returns to the battleship USS Alabama and everywhere else in the News 5 area. Now a beautiful, if somewhat chilly and breezy day. Notice the flags flapping in a fairly brisk northwest wind. That's keeping the cool air moving our way. It's also drying things out. Not a drop on the radar. Temperatures in the 40s and still some lingering 30s out there will eventually find their way into the low 50s. And then tonight, cooling quickly, getting down to 37 by 11 p.m. and it doesn't stop there. We'll talk about that and look ahead to Senior Bowl weekend on News 5 beginning right now.
Now on WKRG News 5.
Flowers and other mementos sit atop Officer Tudor's patrol car as people pay their final respects. Coming up, hear from one woman who says she's met Officer Tudor.
Plus, new details just in on the man accused of shooting and killing 5 people inside a Florida bank. How an ex-girlfriend describes him. And it's one of Alabama's biggest sporting events of the year. This year, the Talladega Superspeedway is getting a makeover. The changes you'll see at the track.
Local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 at noon.
Good afternoon and welcome to News 5 at noon. I'm Devin Walsh. We begin with this breaking news. News 5 is working to learn more about a U.S. Navy investigation going on right now at Austal, USA. The investigation is open, and because of the nature of it, additional details have not been released. As of right now, Austal is continuing business as usual. The visitation and funeral for Officer Sean Tudor is scheduled for tomorrow at Dauphin Way Baptist Church in Mobile. He was killed on Sunday at Peach Place Inn. Police say Marco Perez used a stolen gun to fire the fatal shot. Today, he remains in jail without bond, facing a capital murder charge. And News 5 has just learned that his arraignment has been moved to February 4th at 2:30. Happening today, there are several ways you can pay your respects to Officer Tudor before he is laid to rest tomorrow. Leading up to his visitation tonight, his patrol car is parked at Mobile Police Headquarters for you to visit. News 5's Katerina Lukatich gives us a look at what people have been leaving.
People who have come out today say their heart breaks for the Tudor family and they just want to pay their respects. Some people have dropped off flowers, others left cards for Officer Tudor's wife. Some stopped by to say a quick prayer. Everyone saying they want to thank the hero who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our community. Sherry Graham says Officer Tudor responded to a 911 call she made when he worked in the 1st Precinct.
He was a good guy and very quiet, but listened to the community, and I'm proud to be in the precinct that he was a member of our law enforcement team.
If you want to drop off something, Officer Tudor's car will be at police headquarters on Government Boulevard until 5 o'clock. In Mobile, Katerina Lukatich, WKRG News 5.
Just hours ago, Chrissy Tudor, the widow of Officer Sean Tudor, posted this statement on Facebook saying, "The next 48 hours will be heavy. I will kiss my husband's forehead for the last time. When they call him a hero, I will know they aren't just saying it, because he is." You can read her full statement right now on WKRG.com. The first of 2 visitations for Officer Tudor is tonight from 5 to 8 at Dauphin Way Baptist Church. The second is tomorrow morning from 9 to 11. His funeral will follow. Officer Tudor will be buried at Mobile Memorial Gardens in Tillman's Corner. If you want to honor Officer Tudor, you can line the streets for his procession, and here's the route from the church to the cemetery. The route bypasses the interstate and sticks to city streets, so more people will be able to come out and line the route. If you would like to take part, the best place to stand is along Government Boulevard or Azalea Road. Right now, National Guard soldiers from Tudor's unit are standing guard outside Memorial Gardens Funeral Home. They have vowed to not leave his side until he's laid to rest tomorrow. News 5's Mary Smith has the story.
Officer Sean Tudor's fellow soldiers are inside the funeral home guarding his casket until he is laid to rest tomorrow. They tell News 5 that it's been an emotionally trying week for all of them, but they will not leave Officer Tudor's side until the funeral tomorrow. While the Mobile police officer also served in blue, he also served in the National Guard for years. You'll hear from his friends tonight on News 5 at 5 and how they're remembering him. As we've mentioned this morning, his visitation is tonight from 5 to 8 p.m. at Dolphin Way Baptist Church. For now, reporting from Memorial Gardens, I'm Mary Smith, WKRG News 5.
New at noon, the New York Yankees have sent flowers to the Mobile Police Department in honor of Officer Tudor. Take a look at the arrangement. You can see roses, lilies, and hydrangeas. The Yankees also sent a card. It reads, "With deepest sympathies, our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Tudor family and the family of the Mobile Police Department." The Yankees organization has been sending flowers to the families of every officer killed on duty for the past 5 years. And on Monday, News 5 will hold a Back the Blue telethon for Officer Tudor's family. You'll have a chance to call in from 6 in the morning until 7 at night. All donations will go to the Tudor family through the Mobile Police Department's Memorial Fund. The man accused of killing 5 people inside a Sebring, Florida bank yesterday was denied bond this morning. 21-year-old Zephan Xavier is charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder. Police say he called 911 around 12:30 yesterday, saying he shot 5 people. After a standoff, SWAT entered the bank, eventually taking him into custody without incident a few hours later. Xavier is a former prison guard trainee who recently moved to Florida from Indiana. Police believe this was a random act of violence. A woman who says she is Xavier's ex-girlfriend is opening up about the accused shooter. She says he was fascinated with guns and death. Speaking to the Washington Post, she adds Xavier has always, quote, hated people and wanted everybody to die. She says Xavier told her he bought a gun last week, but no one thought anything of it. You first learned about this developing story on the WKRG app. If you don't have the app, go ahead and download it now. It is free for Apple and Android devices. New data shows young Florida voter turnout increased significantly last year for the midterm elections. 37% of the state's 18 to 29-year-old voters voted in November, which is a 15% jump. Many attribute get out the vote efforts following last year's school shooting in Parkland, Florida, for those increased numbers. Well, the rain has moved out, thankfully. Now it's just flat out cold. Meteorologist John Nodar steps in, and John, we're starting to see the sun peek out.
Yeah, that's going to warm things a little bit at least, but you know, it's noon and we're still seeing 30s on the weather map. Let's take a look, show you what's out there. Jay, Florida coming in at 39 degrees right now. It's 45 in Leakesville and Calvert. 41 in Grove Hill, 47 in Mobile, and 45 in Pensacola. You got that north breeze that kind of makes it feel even colder, and it's keeping the cool air flowing into our neighborhood. It's also bringing in drier air as well, and we got beautiful blue skies over downtown Mobile now after a very cloudy start. You'll see in Pensacola the last of the clouds are exiting to the east over Pensacola Bay from the Unity Fiber camera, and the forecast for the remainder of today is sunshine and plenty of it. I've got sunshine at 10 p.m. That's extraordinarily sunny. No, it'll be clear tonight and cooling fast after the sun goes down. We'll talk more about that. And there's still a flood warning up. We'll talk about that too coming up in your full forecast.
Thanks, John. Breaking news, the Washington County Sheriff's Office is using a helicopter to search for Terry Sullivan. Sheriff Richard Stringer confirms that foul play is suspected in her disappearance. News 5 has learned that investigators have found her phone and a bracelet on Clark Place Road in Tibby. Sullivan was last seen Sunday morning going to work at Spring Hill Medical Center. More breaking news, the Coast Guard is searching for a crew member from a cruise ship off the Florida coast. Royal Caribbean says employees saw the 26-year-old crew member go overboard around 2:30 this morning. Now, this is a picture of the boat, the Majesty of the Seas. It was about 40 miles off the coast in the Atlantic Ocean. The captain immediately stopped the ship to begin rescue efforts. A care team was providing support to the crew member's family and friends. An 8th grade student is accused of having a gun in his backpack at an Alba Middle School basketball game. Another student reported the gun to staff, who called Biola Battery Police. The student was arrested last Thursday outside the gym. Police were already at the game providing security, which they do for all games. The school district believes the student may have gotten the gun from a family member's car. A first-grade student in Birmingham is facing disciplinary action after she brought a butter knife to school yesterday. A Birmingham City School spokeswoman says another student encouraged the girl to go ahead and bring the knife. A teacher confiscated it as soon as she saw it. No students were ever in danger. Mississippi Medicaid enrollment is on the decline. Because of that, the Medicaid director says the program will not seek additional money for the final half of the state's budget year. This is the first time that's happened in the last 5 years. 22% of the state's population is enrolled in the program. Mississippi is one of 14 states to not expand Medicaid as allowed under the 2010 health care overhaul signed by President Obama.